Hey guys, Chrono here. So I know you guys are probably shocked by the title, probably freaking out to find out what's going on and find out if this is just a joke. It is not. It is 100% factual. My personal information, my details of my name and things like that, were leaked on a public Discord. And because of that, I have decided to address the situation like this with you guys. Yeah, that's a heavy way to start a video. Apologies, this is probably going to be a long one, and I'm probably going to take multiple breaks throughout because this is kind of difficult to talk about. Very difficult actually to talk about. But I think it's important to go ahead and inform all of you guys of the actual situation of what's going on and why things have been going the way they have been going. I know I've been pretty vague about that on social media, as well as with you guys in Discord. I basically haven't talked to anyone about this at all. This is the first time anyone outside of myself and Skulls really knows anything about things that are going on from our perspective. Because as you'll find as we go through this, this is not the first time you guys will have seen information about this. So what's going on? What happened? And yeah. So a while back, I made a video talking about the dark side of this community and that there are some pretty terrible things that happen behind closed doors that not everyone gets to see. Today, I will be basically opening the door with an experience that I personally had now that experience is more or less over and it's safe for me to do so with an individual by the name of Raging Worlds. I'm sure some of you guys probably saw the tweets as well as the post or let Skulls know about it, but this individual made a video about Skulls, more or less just kind of took her video, cut it up into pieces, and added stuff in between about their obvious disagreement with what Skulls' message was in her video. Um, it was more or less just a slam piece. Like honestly, it was just bullying. You can say what you like about it, but when you refer to someone as a clown, you make jokes the entire time throughout their video, and they're not really just meant to be funny, they're meant to just be mean, then that's what it is. It's a slam piece. You can argue otherwise, but that's basically what they had there. And the video itself was just it was disgusting to see. Used like her likeness in the thumbnail, just like clipped directly out of her video, mostly her thumbnail itself. Used clips directly out of her video. Nothing was changed from the clips. There wasn't like difference in editing added to it. There wasn't like difference, like nothing transformed or differentiated from the clips, which is important to mention because we're going to talk about that too. Um, it was just straight clips out of her video with other things sliced in between or spliced in between. And we're going to kind of talk about that too because that's actually a pretty big issue with YouTube as well. Um, so or rewind back. What was this? This was like, I want to say it started on the 25th of September, maybe a little earlier. This video is up. It's gone live. We've been told about it. Just kind of like, well, whatever, dude. Like, I don't care. Like, it's not a big deal. Ignore, ignore, ignore. People keep bringing it up. Ignore, ignore, ignore. To the point where like it's starting to become a situation like where we actually watch the video all the way through, and it's so gross. Like it's just kind of ridiculous. I'm like, honestly, you know what? That video just has your clips, your information in it. Like it's partially just your data and your info. Like copyright strike the video. Like just take it down, realistically speaking. And I told her to go for it. Like that's something that I would have done given her situation itself as well, because realistically speaking, when it comes to copyright on YouTube, funny enough, that is against their copyright rules. And let me go ahead and grab something for you guys because I'm sure there are gonna be plenty of people that are going to talk about this. And funny enough, I went out and got the official answer. So give me a sec. Let me grab some info real quick. All right, so this is directly out of YouTube's own copyright rules for partnership and things like that. So first rule of copyright, creators should only upload videos that they have made or they are authorized to use. That means they should not upload videos that they didn't make or content in their videos that someone else owns the copyright to, such as music tracks, snippets of copyrighted programs, or videos made by other users without necessary authorizations. If you go into further, you have copyright exceptions, which talks about copyright exceptions are laws that allow you to reuse someone else's copyrighted protected material without getting their permission, but only under certain circumstances. In the US, most widely known copyright exception is fair use. When deciding whether a use is fair, court looks at factors purposes and the characters of the use, the nature of the copyrighted work, the amount of substantiality of the portion used in relation to copyrighted work as a whole, and the effect of the use upon the potential market for the value of copyrighted work. Some activities may qualify as fair use, include criticism, commentary, and news reporting. Fair use aims to promote freedom of expression. So this is a bit vague overall, and you can kind of twist this a few different ways, which is why we went down the road I'm going to explain to you guys in just a moment. And it goes into further detail. I'm going to leave a link to this. You guys can read through it more on your own, but it goes into further detail on what it's actually used. Now, let's say while similarities regarding copyright exceptions across the globe are still considerably different between laws of each country, there's no one-size-fits-all answer as to whether a reuse falls within copyright exceptions, and the courts decide the acceptability of such exceptions on a case-by-case basis. There's not a hard and fast rule specifically on how this is done. Essentially, it's kind of a legal gray area, realistically speaking, when it comes to copyright. And in case anyone's curious about this, it's mimicked directly from the US Office Fair Use Index, where they talk about the same thing, even noted here, specifically word for word. A very common thing you hear is, additionally, transformative uses are likely to be considered fair. Transformative uses are those that add something new with a further purpose or different character and do not substitute the original use of the work. This is something that people tend to hide behind a lot when it comes to copyright, that though the use is transformative, the work is transformative, so on and so forth. Again, this is something that isn't specifically set in how it actually works out. It's something that actually has to be argued in a court of law. I am not a lawyer. This is not legal advice. I highly suggest you seek out legal representation if you have questions about this to get the exact answers that you're looking for. So we can see now copyright, all that good stuff, right? So based on what we had read, what we have seen, we're like, okay, this makes sense. Go ahead, copyright strike the video. He didn't train. There was nothing transformative about this. It was just cut, paste, make fun of, cut, paste, make fun of. That's the whole video itself. And at this point in time, the video has been taken down. However, funny enough, this individual did leave a link to the video for you guys to download and still watch. So hold on. So let me grab that too. So here is their own Twitter, where they, first off, they frame Skulls as a copyright abuser. This PS2 video was under fair use. Her video and mine are night and day. Just because I have clips of her in the video does not mean it's your video. It's mine. Don't believe me? Click the link below. This is literally a Google Drive link of the exact video for you guys to download. It's right here. You can still watch it if you actually want to, which is wild on my end here. And then I'll be making a video on this as well. I hate to make negative posts here, but since this was meant to be a screenshot account, but how could I not expose people like this? Copyright abuse is never okay. They were absolutely right. Copyright abuse isn't okay. What happened to Cyberbolt? Not okay. I don't personally like the guy's videos. I didn't like the content that he made by it and so on and so forth. But for someone to say that his video was theirs and things in their video belong to him is copyright abuse, because there was nothing in that video specifically that belonged to anyone else but Cyberbolt. He used all of his own content. He used all of his own clips. He used everything that was his in his video. And that's protected by copyright. That's how that works, right? Like if you're making works like this is not the same thing. This is not what was done here. And if you guys are curious, feel free to click the link and download it yourselves. I've done so myself. Also, proofread this link, actually ran it through. I usually, whenever I download something that might be a bit sketchy, I download it to a specific location under specific circumstances to make sure it doesn't have anything else embedded in it. This one's okay. So feel free to click on it and check it out yourselves if you guys would like to. That's besides the point here. So when it comes to copyright, this person's already framed Skulls as a copyright abuser, right? So that, I wish, is where the story ended. It gets worse. So another one of my viewers happened to be super cool and let me know that someone's posting emails that I have with this individual back and forth on a Discord publicly with my information, my first and last name, as well as my data, and or basically just my first and last name, essentially, like legal first and last name, was posted in this Discord. And while blocking out their own information, they left mine full on display. So they had the mindset to block out information. They just didn't care about my information. So just want to go ahead and I'm not going to frame that any way, shape, or form. That is quite literally just what happened. And they sent me screenshots of everything. And I'm going to show you guys those screenshots along with the actual emails, because they didn't show all of the emails back and forth, and their own emails as well prefacing this entire situation. So I think I have these in order of how they were posted. Yeah, okay, cool. So we're going to go through these really quick. Again, shout out to the individual who let me know about this. I appreciate you. You are awesome. They went ahead and screenshot all of these and immediately let me know about what was going on. This was in Cyberbolt's Discord. Again, I have nothing against this individual, though I may not personally like them. They haven't broken any laws or any rules as far as copyright's concerned. Having a difference in opinion isn't against the law or against the rule, and you do have freedom of speech in the U.S., though it may not be the same everywhere else. That is something that is the case in the U.S. So you're allowed to say what you want for the most part, and you can do that as long as you're not hurting anyone. However, what this person did, they quite literally put me in a position where it became a danger. It was a danger for me and those around me. So definitely something that I'm going to go ahead and show you guys and talk with you guys about because it had a huge effect on what I was dealing with. I actually have, you know what, before I go into this, I have something even cooler to show you guys. Give me one sec. All right, so yeah, so here's a screenshot from my phone in my health app. I actually wear an Apple Watch that monitors some different stuff. Listen, don't look at the activity, okay? The activity from yesterday is skewed. I went to bed early. I didn't have my watch on all day. Other excuses that don't matter. Anyway, so you guys can see a notification alert. There's actually a notification that pops up if your heart rate exceeds 120 while you're not working out, like while you're inactive, which it does measure, and it shows that for over 10 minutes. This is the first time I tried to record this video for you guys, and of course, some things had just happened that I just wasn't in the position to talk about at that time. And I did that hastily, and I didn't really include everything, so I scrapped it, and I decided, you know what, we're not going to worry about that. I'll talk about this later after I have had all the conversations I need to have, and we can look at it from that perspective. But that is that is just directly out of my iPhone actually. So you guys can kind of see where I was in that position. This is again very real, very serious for me. So anyway, the actual hey guys, post edit chrono here really quick just to kind of preface a quick section of this video. The next thing you guys are going to see are screenshots directly out of Cyberbolt's Discord, along with the users that posted such messages, so on and so forth. I know some people are probably going to think, well, you know, you probably should have blacked out those users' names and all that good stuff. I have double checked, even now with the individual that sent me the screenshots originally. They're still up. The notices, the messages, they're all still there. And Cyberbolt's Discord is publicly available to anyone who wants to join it if they have the link. It is posted on his YouTube channel. He is not hiding it, nor is he hiding his Discord or anything along those lines. So if you wanted to go out and see these people and confirm it for yourselves, you absolutely could. The reason I didn't block it out is because why? Why? Honestly, like I've taken a lot of liberties. I've gone about being very, very more than reasonable in these situations themselves. And time again, my kindness is taken advantage of. So why bother? I would much rather like these people to be seen. I would like people to see these individuals and what they're posting. That way they can make their own opinion of the matter themselves. And this is public information. You guys are more than welcome to go ahead and pop right over to it and look for it yourselves. So that's the reason. I know some people dislike when I post like, you know, people's notices or messages or things like that when they post them on public forums. But yeah, don't post things you don't want other people to see if it can be accessed publicly. That's it. All right, cool. Later. The stuff we're looking at here. So this is posts directly out of um, this Discord, right? So this is Cyberbolt's Discord. The channel apparently is called Community Cope. I feel like that's telling enough as it is. So here's where they post a screenshot of the email. Notice how they did not block out my data. They blocked out their information. Funny enough, they didn't block out their own name, which is interesting. I'm not going to zoom in on it. You guys are more than welcome to if you'd like to. And again, I'm going to show you guys the emails so you guys can check them out specifically. But this is more about showing the other posts, right? Skulls and Chrono are not happy. This one is, I don't know where the moral grandstanding comes here, but when will women learn that asking a man to fight their battles is cowardly? Even in the age of feminism, every time I've had an argument with a woman, they would always bring out a man to defend them, even when they spout feminist nonsense. Yes, all I know is, yes, I know not all women are feminists. For those of you guys who know anything about what's been going on recently, you know that Skulls has been battling some basically has been working through some pretty really bad depression, who she's had down to a few mental crises recently that we're kind of been working through. And at a certain point, like this reached a point where she just couldn't handle it anymore. And I said, honestly, I've got it. Don't worry about it. Let me take care of it. As you guys know from other posts, Skulls is my fiance. We're in the process of looking to get married. She did say yes. That was super cool. And I'm not sure if you guys have ever been in a relationship or a partnership, but when one can't handle, the other steps up. That's how that works. And though this wasn't about me specifically, it was to a point where I felt like having her handle it was a severe degradation on her health and her mental health. So I told her, let me take care of it. And she did. I was totally fine. So yeah, I don't know if this person has ever been in a relationship, but that's how relationships work. You cover each other's weaknesses when the other one can't handle. Moving on. So they're basically saying, yeah, we copyright claimed your video. We're asking a lawyer now. Nothing interesting. No. I mean, kind of, right? We copyright claimed your video. It's requiring we have some form of interaction with legal representation or taking legal action. So yes, we were talking with the lawyer about that specifically now. Bring up a lawyer, they have to be bluffing. We're not. It wouldn't matter. They have no case. Funny enough, we do. Absolutely. Step one, be nice. So this is where they posted their reaction and their response to everything. And now I have these marked out. Like you'll find that I actually marked out quite a bit. This is what they marked out. So let me go back real quick. This is what I marked out. I mark this out. This is their mark out. I marked these out, of course, but they marked out this, right? So then I didn't mark out their names because honestly, I didn't care at this point. They put my information out there, so why should I give a crap about theirs? Which, to be fair, I didn't do any damage, realistically speaking. This was much, much worse that could have been done based on what was posted, but we'll talk about that later too. Step one, be nice. Step two, be logical. You have to zoom in for the first one, sorry. So what a bunch of pussies, ignore this. I wouldn't. Ignore this, it didn't come from a lawyer. I hate morons that threaten legal action. If you actually knew everything that was involved with this, which I don't blame this person because they don't know everything that's going on. One thing that this person did is they did not actually provide all of the information. They didn't provide all of the emails. They didn't even show what was actually being said. They just heard legal action and all of a sudden they were like, oh, they're threatening a lawyer. That's not what happened here. Anyone with a lot of green nose and two brain cells sewn together, they will tell you never directly contact the person you plan on having legal entanglement with. They're absolutely right. Yeah, that is information that we got from a lawyer. Cannot stress this enough. Oh, well, it's their funeral. He won't do anything. She won't do anything. It's a waste of, they will not, it's a waste of time and money to hire a lawyer to drag this at court. Actually not far off from the truth. And then this person adds a, so elegantly, legally suck my nuts. Based. You can legally suck my nuts as well, dog. If they did, they'd be laughed out of a courtroom. I hate to use the word trigger, but this triggers me so much. No, so copyright claims are actually very, very serious. So you'll find actually, funny enough, so if you guys follow any of the more of the bigger creators, I know Mr. Beast recently had a situation where like a literal small amount of one animation that didn't belong to him belonged to someone else who created it, and they copyright claimed his entire video because of it. And legally they could. His team actually had to go out and find that individual and try to speak with him about it because technically speaking, by copyright laws, from what we understand now, talking with someone, that is their copyright and they're actually allowed to do so. And you can't include that without their permission or providing some form of compensation and getting their permission to do so. That's why that was such a big issue for Mr. Beast, because he has the money, he has the legal backing. If he wanted to fight this, he absolutely could. But realistically speaking, it's not something that you could completely frame, right? Like even a small clip of something isn't transformative content. It's still a small clip of something. It's something that belongs to someone else. And it's a lot of a legal gray area because what you'll find is copyright laws haven't changed in a very, very long time. And most of them are not suited to videos. Most of them are not suited to Twitch content or to YouTube content. They have been updated and they really need to be looked at again for this. And hopefully they will soon. Legal action felt like an empty threat, really. Not really by our, we didn't want to do this, and I'm sure you guys why. Absolute morons threatening to lawyer up over internet slap fights. Like paying for a lawyer is expensive and getting mad over a video game is going to get them anywhere. No one was mad about a video game. Literally had nothing to do with being mad about a video game. This is something you'll see as a consistent like conversation, but like they frame that this has been done because we were upset at them for disagreeing or for being quote right or we didn't like their video. No, that's not the reason for this. Though that does happen with a lot of people. Cyberbolt again dealt with this personally, which sucks for that from a content creator standpoint, purely from content creation. That sucks because that affects everyone. But that's not what this is, and trying to frame it that way is absolutely ridiculous. Let's see. The most empty threats. Same with I'm blah blah blah. Asking to stop. Emails. Ignore this too. Blah blah blah. This person's offering advice where, granted, solid advice, but I wouldn't offer advice to anyone without knowing the entire thing. All posts about information on some ordinary gamers. I saw ordinary gamers Reddit. I think I'm going to hold off on that since I don't even know they should be taken seriously based on what you said. Do say how to save drafts, so on. I can't stress enough. We're talking to lawyers on October 2nd. Bluff. I'm gonna show you that wasn't. Um, remember, and then they talk about a different case. Blah blah blah. Why shouldn't you tell someone that you're taking them to court? They go off the rails here and talk about why this happens. They're talking about someone else. I have a law degree, nor do I live in the US. Probably shouldn't comment on this then. If you're serious, whoever he's hired as a lawyer, a law firm would have reached out. Again, we're going to go over that. Then they talk to this person about Miranda rights, so on and so forth. You guys can pause this and take a look at it yourselves. Again, there's not really anything of substance here. This was just to show you guys this entire conversation that happened. I think how much more of this is there? I think is that the last one? Nope. More, pair of twats, blah, blah, blah. When you're a full-time YouTuber streamer, it's often worth it to create a company for yourself since it's your job. Actually, funny enough, so this person says the claim intro channel was needed filed by her company. Absolute dickhead. Who thinks people are? They're literally nobodies. So fun fact that anyone who's now doing creation post-COVID stuff is going to learn very quickly. If you're streaming, you reach a certain amount of money you're made. If you're doing YouTube content as well, like paperwork has to be filed. There's taxes that are involved with it as well. And legally, you actually want to file as a company, as an LLC, which has been done. Funny enough, I've learned about this because those of you guys who don't know, I've mentioned it on the channel, Mom Tastrophe does do taxes. She does file taxes. She does payroll, and she's notarized. So all of these things have been done, and I've been lucky enough to have someone in my family who does this. So I know that I'm filing my things the way they need to be filed, and I'm not going to get a notice 5 years down the road about all these taxes that were unpaid that I'm going to have to pay back now. You'll find that a lot of people end up dealing with that later on down the line. I think most recently, I'm not sure if this was the reason behind it, but there was a VTuber that just debuted with VShojo that was talking about how he has in like a big issue with taxes and money, and it's a very serious situation. So this all to say that this is how this actually works for people who don't do this sort of stuff. You have to actually file, you have to pay attention to these things, or you're going to get in trouble. You're shocked they're making any real money from it. You're not wrong. It's not a lot. Not sure enough to do this full time. That is why I have a full-time job and why I've made the decision I made on this entire situation. YouTube, even on Twitch, they're tiny streamers. Surely they can't make enough to pay the bills. I don't know how this is relevant. I feel like this is just kind of people just being mean to be mean. Souls really makes 1K on her videos, and Chrono makes less than 2K on most of his videos. True, recently. It's a bummer, man, but true. We're working on it, man. We're trying to build ourselves up. Thanks for reminding me. Idle threats, idle threats, idle threats, blah, blah, blah. This person has very obviously seen a lot of this situation and has experienced it, and is just very, very irritated and desensitized by it. But again, this is not something that I would ever recommend. This is why I usually take a step back before I ever back anyone individually until I know exactly what's going on. And this happened previous times in the community beforehand. And I just want to go through all of this first because the rest is going to be really fun. I know, right? Blah, blah. And this is where they kind of go about they don't have money, they don't have lawyers, there's no recourse, they wouldn't have even answered, blah, blah, blah. And it goes on for quite some time, and it just continuously goes on. And it keeps going. And here's where this is actually pretty funny. This girl's had a problem with people using her content. Why doesn't she copyright strike this one? And it's Macon making a reaction to this video. Funny enough, she did send Macon an actual notice saying, hey, look, can you at least in your thumbnails try to include something of yourself? This looks like it's her thumbnail, basically. But she didn't copyright claim it because Macon didn't go on and make an entire hate video about her video itself. That's the fun part. When it comes to copyright, you get to choose who uses your content. And I have no problem with him using content, and she has no problem with him using content. And a lot of creators don't have issues with people using content. They're allowed to do that. That's why way back when Asmon started this trend of react content on Twitch and uploaded it to YouTube, there was this big, issue that people were saying that, him watching their videos is getting more views than the original video, which is pulling away from the actual creator originally. And he flat out said, hey, look, if this is an issue, I will take down my video. I will remove my video, even compensate that individual for what that video itself made, because that content belongs to that individual. That's how that works. That's why this was such a huge thing at that time. Legally, React content is in a gray area. And we're going to talk about that as well because I've, again, learned a lot by asking questions. It's really cool. But React content is in a gray area. If someone doesn't want you reacting to their content, they are allowed to stop you from doing that. That's how that works. And if they have enough backing, they can seriously stop you. And it can also cost you a lot of money. And in some cases, your actual YouTube channel. So it's a very serious situation that is kind of like skated around by a lot of creators to a point where it's like, hey man, it's not even really worth it in some cases. So like it's not a big deal. Sometimes it's cool, sometimes it's bad. It just depends on how you frame it up, right? And it's also why when you see people doing very heavy critical pieces or exposés or exposure pieces, the content that they use in those videos are all public domain content. They're all content from either a public website or content that they have gathered themselves personally, because if that individual, you're using any of their copyrighted content, they can fight you on that. They can actually take you to court, fight you, give you basically the legal version of a cease and desist, and then also sue you for their lawyer costs, making you pay, depending on how good your lawyer is, making you pay for their lawyer costs as well. It's absolutely insane, and there's a lot of money involved in it. There's some pretty terrible things you can do with the legal system if you're a vindictive individual. Again, these are things that I learned recently that were explained to me as far as how this process itself works out, how much money it would cost, so on and so forth. And we'll talk about that in a little bit too. But yeah, she mentioned in sending something to him or whatever. And again, no one has any problem with people reacting to their content. Or Troy can react to whatever he wants, man. But yeah, I know I personally would be like, can you at least make it look like it's your React video and not just mine? Because it's just her face huge on here. And again, like that's to each individual person. It's not a big deal. It's whatever, right? And the issue is she's in picking and choosing. The issue isn't that she's picking and choosing. The issue is that my video was fair use. It wasn't. There's a condition you need in order for video to be considered fair use without asking permission. One of those conditions is criticism, which is that my video falls under. She has no right to take my video down. Funny enough, there is no specific guideline on this. They talk about this, but they also mention that this has to be ruled in a court of law. Overall rule. This person is just, I mean, you can see by it's just, this is awful. I did make a video a couple days ago. This came out, so they made another video afterwards, right? Framing her as a copyright abuse. I want you guys to look at the dates on these, by the way. So this was, oh, did I have the date on this one? Crap, I don't. Okay. Let me look and see if I can see the date that this person sent me the screenshot. Give me 1 second. So you guys can know the actual like premise, the time frame and things like that. So this was on the 2nd. Yeah, where they posted all of this. So yeah, this was on the 2nd they posted all this. If this says yesterday, so they mean they made this video on the 1st. And actually, let's take a look really quick. Yep, there it is. The video's right there. I'm gonna leave a link. You guys are more than welcome to watch it yourselves. I'm not gonna watch it. Well, you can see there. Interesting. Uh, Interesting choice of videos they're made. Interesting amount of people that are taking a look at it, so on and so forth. But yeah, you can see they made that video right there. It's up 8 days ago. Feel free to check it out. I don't like to bring like light to someone else's videos, but like, meh. Her company, I'm not reading those emails. Mid-30s weebs acting like e-lawyers trying to sound intelligent. I'm assuming this is Cyberbolt. I didn't want to frame this person as like just being a part of all of this, but as you can see, not only did they see all of this, they said nothing about all my information being posted, nor did they do anything about it. Funny enough. Okay, cool. So let's move on to the emails, the actual emails that were sent out. So here's an email directly from YouTube. This is the September 29th. This is that they've received counterclaiming in the video that was removed. You have 10 business days to reply to this counter notification. You must include evidence that you've taken legal action against the uploader to keep the content from being reinstated by YouTube. Usually evidence would include a lawsuit against the uploader, which names the YouTube URL at issue and seeks court order to restrain alleged infringement. Evidence should be submitted by replying to the email, blah, blah, blah. It then shows the counter notification and the link to the YouTube video itself. And you guys can see the timestamp and the date. This was on September 29th. And you can see the name of the uploader, Raging Worlds. I went ahead and did the moral decency of blocking out their information, but this is their name and their full address along with their phone number, all listed right here. Not exactly smart to include in someone that you've, essentially doxed their name in a public Discord, but hey, to each is their own, I suppose. Block that again, but as you can see the bottom half of this email, this is not doctor. This is directly from YouTube. This is the email that they sent Skulls afterwards. Let's see, what else do we have here? Oh, is that the end of the YouTube email stuff? Okay, cool. So yeah, that's the end of the YouTube email stuff. Let's look at the other stuff. So there's a few things that came up, right? People were, or they mentioned in this process, right? So they haven't taken any legal action. They'll be talking to someone on October 2nd. So I've got this really cool service called Legal Shield, and I pay for it monthly. It's something that I opted to go ahead and go into when I started making content, because there are situations where you're signing NDAs and you're agreeing to things legally that these bigger companies they have legal backing behind, right? And making requests, agreeing to do things for payment, so on and so forth. This service has actually been super useful to me, that I've been able to send out, hey, look, these guys haven't paid me. Can you send them an email for me, or can you send them a letter letting them know they haven't paid me because they're not responding to me? And in most cases, then I end up getting a response from these companies, and I actually get paid when I'm supposed to be getting paid, and I get responses that I need to get ahead and get. So because this is here. Oh, also in cases where you've been sent stuff that you have to sign, it's really cool to be able to just pop my phone open, take a screenshot of the actual item itself, make sure it's legible, send it over to someone who does know what they're talking about, someone who is a lawyer, and let me know if this is a problem, if I should be signing this or not. Fantastic service to have, and I don't have to keep a lawyer that I have to pay exorbitant amounts of money for all the time. It's basically great. I'm sure lawyers use this to subsidize their own cases in between. They don't have to get super personal on, but it's super nice to have that you can just reach out to someone and get an answer. Now did they include the law firm as well? I believe so, right? So you guys can see. Oh no, this is a different email. Okay, so here's, yep, you receive a call at 8:30 to 11 a.m. Monday, October 2nd. So yes, this was very real. This was very, very much set up for me to have someone to speak with. Track status through portals, blah blah blah. Upload your stuff, which we uploaded screenshots of essentially this entire situation, everything that they sent back and forth, all the emails and all that good stuff, and then follow up on the request, my reference number, which of course I blocked out because we can't have people looking up references of things. But this is just to see the email that was sent out. I can't really show you guys anything else, unfortunately, because I'm not allowed to. Well, can I see the law firm that I worked with? Let me see if it shows it on my, because this actually got moved over. Unfortunately, this case, because of the way it worked out, got moved from my end over to Skulls. Yeah, it doesn't show it anymore, unfortunately. But yeah, I honestly, if you're a creator yourself and you've ever been in a situation where you're concerned and you don't know how to move forward, or you don't have anyone to talk to about this stuff, Legal Shield's been great. It's expensive, don't get me wrong. I pay like 45 bucks a month, but definitely gives me somewhere I can go to handle situations like this where I would have probably spent upwards of like, $300-400 just to talk to someone. So super useful, super helpful. So from there, let me see, what else do I have for you guys? What's this? Oh, okay. So funny enough, they they framed that or where is the original video? Okay, here we go. So they shot out an email to, because if you're not aware, whenever you copyright strike a video, your email that you copyright struck from is listed there for that individual. That's how I knew when I originally got a copyright strike on one of my videos directly from Sega, from their actual offices, an individual there, it showed their email. Like I could see their company email listing to prove that it was someone from there that actually copyright struck my video, which sucked. Back then, before PSO2 came to global, you you got most of your information from a site called Bumped, and Bumped included screenshots from the live stream. And if you actually blew those screenshots up and looked at them closely, it would get your video copyright strike, because it was information and screenshots from the actual live stream, which is their copyright. Technically, I can't pull that in my video, so that would get me in trouble. So that was something that I had to deal with, and I learned how to go through. When you get a copyright strike, it's on your channel for 6 months. Sucks, but eventually they fall off, so it's not a huge deal. But so you can see on the 29th, this individual sent an email. Hey, it's Raging Worlds, giving you an email to tell my video, assuming this is fake. And this is actually the person who I think I'm messaging. Then you need to DM me on my Twitter account. They show their Twitter account. And to confirm that you did indeed, in fact, take down my video. If you did not do this, I'll assume that this is a fraud account framing you, and I will publicly post this email so that everyone knows to look out for them. You have 7 days, time is ticking. So they sent this veiled threat, I guess, of an email itself. This was 11 p.m. on September 29th. They then sent this. Like I don't really understand what was happening here. It's the same stuff, but weird copy paste, like I don't know, like a like one of those weird, like what were they, the kidnapping things or whatever, like one of those basically. And then of course they were forwarded over to me from Skulls. Same thing, so you guys can see the entire email. Nothing was changed or whatever. You can even see Skulls is right up here. I didn't hide this out or anything like that because she's shown her face on Twitch before on stream. So you guys have seen this. You can see that that's where this was sent to. Of course, I blocked out emails because this person hasn't publicly posted their email anywhere. So I assume they wanted to keep that private. It's almost like you or pay attention to how people decide to provide their information and maybe don't post anything that isn't public already. But I digress. Moving on. And then they even went as far as to send a Google chat the next day. So this they've just consistently been going on and on about trying to get in contact with Skulls over and over again. I mean, this was literally 3 times in less than 24 hours. We didn't email them first. They emailed and sent all these messages to her. So I finally went, grabbed my email account and shot them an email. So it's like, hello, hope you're doing well. Emailed you regarding your repeated attempts to contact Skulls Nightshade about the copyright claim post channel. I'm her fiance and I'll be the one speaking to you on this matter moving forward. The claim against your channel was indeed filed by her company. We've received numerous emails from yourself asking to confirm this, so consider this a confirmation. We also received notice that you're countering this claim. YouTube asked, and I say right here, YouTube asked that to consider this process further, we are to provide legal action against you. Moving forward, I kindly ask you to cease all levels of communication with Skulls Nightshade while we communicate with legal representation on what to do in this matter moving forward. I have a meeting with them on Monday morning, October 2nd. After speaking with them, we will respond to YouTube to provide appropriate timeline of matters. YouTube gives 10 business days to respond to them. We have since collected all emails and public posts made by yourself or about Skulls to provide to them as well. Thank you for your time. And then, of course, my information, like my first name. Honestly, not a big deal, whatever. So, and let me check to make sure. Hang on. So now I personally am, what's I'm looking for? I am, check the rest of the screenshots to make sure I didn't miss anywhere else. My name, it's not a big deal. I've had my friends come into my channel and call my name, so it's not a big deal either way. So yeah, and then their message back, which, okay. I take copyright abuse very seriously, which is why I sent the counterclaim in response. Everyone takes it seriously, but sure. I want to make sure that it was in fact actually her. I know this isn't someone pretending to be her. I understand that. Don't really care. The video is taken down under fair use. So this is where they go in to talk about like how it's fair use, how their video should be back up and going. I'm gonna leave this up here for you guys to read. This is already difficult enough to read. Like, I mean, looking at things like Phyllis Skulls desperately wants everyone else to have the same opinion as her so she can have her happy place. It's just, you guys can kind of see where this goes. We talk about like things like, unfortunately, people generate negative opinions on the game. I know how it feels like people disliking something that you like. One of my favorite Spider-Man shows as a kid was Ultimate Spider-Man. Like, they talk about all this other stuff mixed in here. I don't get it, realistically speaking. Again, you're more than welcome to read through this on your own. I'm going to leave this up here for you guys. The whole point of me showing you this was to show you actually what happened and all of the emails, so you guys are able to make your own decisions on what you feel like should be going on. This was sent on September 29th. Follow-up was sent 30th. So as you can see, right, I sent this email on the 29th. They weren't paying attention because then they follow-up sent another message on the 30th after the fact. Funny enough, actually, let me look really quick. Where's the email start? Was this after? Yeah, they responded to this. Now I'm looking at this. Funny if they responded to this the next day in the morning. But, oh, no, this is just when the email was sent. Okay, no, this is just when Skulls emailed me. I was like, okay, that's weird. Yeah, anyway, so you can see that their response to it. So I'm back, understand your point, but I'm not here to argue whether or not the takedown was justified. I'm simply notifying you as you asked. And then, kind of, honestly, here I went into more than I probably should have as far as what's going on, just stating some facts, that's fair use, why we set aside and did what we did, so on and so forth, and so on, all that good stuff. Like, we take all this very seriously and won't tolerate being treated in this manner. How you can choose to conduct yourself as your business. I won't tell you that you should or should not, or what you should or should not do. However, we have gathered and recorded everything that has been sent publicly or sent and publicly posted, and will continue with making a choice on Monday. However, or whatever whatever YouTube's official ruling ends up being on the matter, we'll leave it up to as it is. There will be no other actions moving forward. However, posting this counterclaim and responding the way you have has left us no choice but to seek legal representation. And based on what they say, we are prepared to do so. Because we are. That's the reality is that you should always cover yourself, especially in this whole content creation game. It is absolutely insane. Again, we can see the secondary email here. They respond to this. I'm going to skip over because you guys can't see all of it. I'm kind of in the way here. We can see a little bit better here. So this is the secondary post in this email. Again, they respond back talking about criticisms, so on and so forth, not needing permission or this is, we already went over this and showed how this, yes, this can fall into this line, this grouping, but it's up to someone in court to prove that that's what's happening here. You can have this conversation, or so you can have this conversation of what you think is right or wrong with YouTube and their policies. I won't be discussing this matter further with anyone other than my own legal representation. I'm not here to make arguments, nor am I here for your advice. I'll be moving forward as previously stated. Because again, they just keep telling me what I should be doing and how we should be dealing with the situation itself. I'm not taking legal advice from the person who caused the situation itself to happen. And as you can see, I was very prompt in answering all messages that were sent out. They didn't have to wait. Nothing had to be stopped, right? So I'm going to pull up next. This is their actual Twitter account, where on the 27th, they posted stuff. Now notice that they said that they would wait 7 days before posting something, right? This is them literally posting on the 27th. This video you took down was transformative. Copyright abuse is never okay. YouTubers hate this kind of stuff, and and you don't know what the hell you're doing. Just because I have clips of you in my video does not make it copyright. This won't end well for you. Veiled threats, cool. Majority of the footage in the video was my footage and is not just me commentating over your video. You know that. Plus, the fact that you only decided to take this down when it was starting to get more views, I thought you didn't care. This looks bad on you, not gonna lie. This video had 193 views. Dog, I know you guys were talking about the fact that my videos don't get over 2K nowadays, but this had a fraction of anything. And I was over 5 days. 5 days. And after the worst PSO2 NGS headline came out, of course, we're going to have people who want damage control, but fail at that every single level. This YouTube called Skulls Nightshade. So weird. Made a video voicing her thoughts and her takes on what voicing her thoughts, and a lot of her takes were either terrible or just straight up wrong. So we're going to be going over them in this video. They didn't. They just posted her clips and then posted clips in between of her making fun of it. Literally, the video was titled, "This isn't me, this is their video." Oh, it doesn't even show it the entire way through. Wow. So Skulls Nightshade is, let's see, is it posted anywhere else? I'm curious. Hold on, guys. Let's see if I can find it for you. One sec. Dang, dude. It cuts off right before it gets the good portion of the actual title, but it says specifically, Skulls Nightshade is a clown. I don't know about you guys, but I don't see how that has anything to do with talking about things being right or wrong or being a bad take. That was just an insult, flat out, first and foremost. They then, of course, post further on the matter. Oh yeah, no, sorry. And they frame Skulls' thing here. I never expected them actually have examples addressed. Wow, thanks. I hope you get all your views. They didn't really get any. Or whatever the goal was. Imagine talking shit about someone who just wants positivity. If you don't like the game, maybe play something else. I think it truly shows some people just want an excuse to complain. And realistically, that's what that whole video was about. It was quite literally, and I quote, just to explain the detriment that negativity about a game can cause overall. Like it is not to say that you shouldn't criticize a game or you shouldn't dislike the game itself. It's that people think that just screaming about things and being as toxic and as negative as possible forces change, and it doesn't. It just causes animosity. And sometimes animosity does get followed by change eventually, but it's not for the better. It usually gets followed by change to get people to shut up. And that's never something that anyone wants to deal with. That was the whole point of this. And yeah, you guys can see a lot of their stuff. Well, don't be such a baby, you didn't even watch the video. She did. We both watched the entire thing. I already explained that I haven't played the game in over 5 months and encouraged others to play something else. Then what is the purpose of what you're doing here? It's obvious at that point. Like, what? You said your video was so hilariously bad that I wanted to make a video on it, and thanks to you, I had a lot of fun making it. So you even framed this that you just wanted to make a video about her video. Like, there was nothing. You weren't trying to help anyone in this situation. They quite literally, these are their words, not mine. Right here, plain as day for you guys. They have them posted on their Twitter account. This isn't a screenshot that I took, that I messed with. This is there for them. Whether you agree or disagree with, that's up to you. But this is so you guys know everything that's going on as far as what we're looking at here. And then for anyone who's ever curious, this is the direct email from YouTube that I had Skulls forward over to me. I'm not going to scroll up or scroll down because further down is all of their information and further above is our information. So you can see here again, you have 10 business days to reply to this counter notification, must include evidence you've taken legal actions. This is the thing, right? Like, YouTube requires that you go about this. This is not something that we decided or we're like, oh, I dislike this person, so I'm going to do this. This is a requirement. You have to go about this. This is why we went and sought legal representation behind this entire process, because for YouTube to consider it moving forward, that's what you have to do. So you can see the emails themselves that were sent out. And then of course, I mean, it's just disgusting, man. The fact that this was everything we dealt with, and overall, like, hang on, hold on one second, guys. Overall, at the end of the day, the way this is going to play out is the video is going to go back up. After talking with legal representation, what they've told us and kind of what our options themselves were, which I can talk about now because we're not going to be seeking any legal repercussions against this individual. But they just explained that, hey, man, it's not worth it. It is a situation where you'll take it to court and likely you will win out in the end. It's going to cost you money up front. And then you can choose to then sue this person for the cost of the money in the first place for making you go through that matter to begin with. Because the way they've conducted themselves, there's plenty of evidence showing that it would basically go in our ruling. Am I like personally set up to do that? Yeah, we keep savings for a reason just like this. Funny enough, actually, after speaking with them, because of the work that Mom Tashfi does, again, she is she does payroll. She's a bookkeeper and does payroll, and also does taxes as well during tax season. But she essentially has her own company that she partners with and covers for a law firm that the owner of said law firm that specializes in other types of criminal cases has a good friend that offered to take up our case pro bono and was like, hey, look, we'll totally do this for you if this is what you want to go about. However, with Skulls' recent mental health, how this has affected me personally, and just how small this actually is, it's not worth going over. I think honestly, the bigger and more useful thing out of all this is to show how people actually behave themselves. They show what people are doing behind closed doors, where in some cases that this is actually being quite literally cultivated by other people in the community. Again, I personally have nothing against Cyberbolt, but had this conversation happened in my Discord and I saw someone posted someone else's name, I would have had them remove it immediately. It wouldn't even be a case like if I agreed with what they were doing, whatever. This is horrifically dangerous. When you post someone's personal data like that online, there are a lot of bad things that people can do with that information and do terrible, terrible things. I had to pick up the phone and contact my local police department and let them know of the matter and let them know what was going on, and spoke to a detective that told me if anything happens, hey, they've already given you their full name and address in email format. Please make sure to forward over to us so that we, if something does happen, we have a way of seeking out retribution. Because if someone were to do something, it's illegal. And this person has provided all of their details to have someone go directly to them. So fun stuff, man. Anyway, this is not a case of like, oh, I'm threatening to do something against anyone. Again, I just wanted to show you guys everything that's been going on. You guys haven't seen a lot of streams. I've been super stressed. I've been stressed the hell out. I felt kind of bad because I know Skulls feels like everyone is just coming after her recently. Like and I know it's a lot of it has to do with, her mental health and things like that. We're working through a lot of stuff on her end. I'm also working through my own stuff as well. And I felt bad that this affected me the way that it does, because then she feels bad that it also affected me. So it's kind of like a whole circle, right? Like, you don't want to know that what is happening to you is worse for everyone else around you. But realistically speaking, for me personally, it was a lot to deal with. I mean, you guys saw the screenshot. My heart rate was ridiculous for over 10 minutes, actually. And I had to just sit down and calm down and relax for a bit because, man, it was a lot to cover. And this is not the first time someone has gone into a Discord and talked about me behind my back, where people thought that would never get back to me. Um, I don't have people go out looking for this stuff. People bring it to me. It's happened multiple times. It happened back in JP. Now it's happened in global. I'm sure it's happened in other places as well that hasn't been brought to me. And I'm sure people will bring things like this to me in the future. But I mean, if you're going to talk about people like this, I think you should be very careful about where you talk about them and who you talk about them with and how you frame these things. Because I'm definitely someone who believes in the court of public opinion over everything else. Not that I agree with the court of public opinion, but I feel like that's the only thing that really matters. People are going to make their own choices based on the information that they see, and that's why I want to make sure that you guys have all of the information. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching this all the way to the end. I hate to do videos like this. I'm sorry, this is not going to happen again. I'm pretty much done with this sort of content itself. I don't like to do drama videos at all. But I will not stand for people acting like this and then trying to frame it a different way behind closed doors. And then, of course, just giving some information. To those of you guys who caught strays in Cyberbolt's Discord, I do feel for you guys. You didn't have the entire story. You didn't have all the information. You didn't know everything was going on. And maybe you agreed with him even knowing all of that now. Sure, that's totally fine. But you deserve to have all the info if you were going to have someone, if you were going to have a comment to have on the matter itself. So, and then to Cyberbolt himself, nothing against you, but I definitely would have handled this very differently. I considered messaging him directly to let him know about the process itself, but after sending them an email, which, funny enough, you know what? Let's include that email as well. One sec. All right, really quick here. So I sent them an email shortly afterwards. It just says, hey, I've been asked not to speak to you on the matter regarding copyright claim while paperwork is being filed, because yes, we were filing paperwork to actually send out to them. Well, the paperwork that was being filed actually had to do with me speaking specifically to a lawyer about the situation, since it wasn't my channel specifically that like had this problem. We had to get like waivers signed and things like that, so it made this take way longer before we actually had to sit down and talk to someone. It was a huge pain in the neck. So if you guys ever go through something like this on your end, just make sure that you are ready to to get papers and things notarized and signed, because it was annoying. Anyway, it's come to my attention you've shared some of the emails we've sent back and forth with others on a public Discord community. While you took the time to black out your personal information, you left mine fully on display. I ask you please remove such screenshots. I have no problem with you sharing emails. However, revealing my name is like that is a danger to myself and those around me. Thank you. And after sending out that email, wait, don't need to keep that screenshot. Let's see. The next morning, I received another screenshot. One sec. I received another screenshot of them saying, "Oh, for anyone who's confused or what we were talking about, this is it. Had to repost this because they did have Kronos's name on it, so it only makes sense that I take them down." Yeah, after I said something, then they actually went in. They thought about to take their own name out of it, but not mine, right? Yeah, no, I'm not gonna sit and say, "Oh, you did that," because out of the goodness of your heart, no, I emailed you and told you to do it. So, yeah. But that's it. That's all I've got to talk about on the matter. Again, I'm not going to follow up on this. I'm going to leave this alone. The video is probably going to go live again. You guys are welcome to check it out for yourselves. What YouTube chooses to do on the matter itself after the fact is totally up to them. We'll be letting them know that we did look into it and decided not to further go on this matter. While we absolutely could, it would take a long time. It would drag not only myself, but Skulls into a lot more. And I feel like focusing on her mental health right now is the best thing we can do, especially with looking like things like the wedding coming up, as well as a bunch of events she has scheduled this month, and me working into trying to figure out for us moving out. I just didn't want to invest money that there was not a guarantee that I would see it come back again. So anyway, guys, thanks for watching all the end. Again, sorry about all of this. I tend to ramble a bit, but now you guys know what's been going on. Anyway, take care, everyone. Hopefully this sees you guys all well. Peace out.